I'm about to take down 500 grams of carbs in the hopes that I wake up tomorrow morning leaner. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm splitting up the 500 grams of carbs over the course of the day into 5 100-gram carb meals with 30 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat for every meal. So I've been in a hefty deficit for months now. I did just finish my hour of fasted cardio, so the room is spinning a little bit. I'm all cold and clammy because I sweated during the cardio. I need to take this down, get a few brain cells together, and then I'm going to explain how this is going to work. That is just so good. So I've opted to have oats and protein in this meal because one, it is like a dessert. I have a pretty hefty sweet tooth and this is just so fantastic for me. I actually like to make it the night before, stick it in the fridge, and it is literally like a dessert. Meal one, destroyed. Absolutely inhaled that. That was so fantastic. When you're dieting, something like that is just incredible. Sometimes you do think to yourself, I don't need a cheat meal. I can just take down a huge bowl of oats. And you know what? It is incredibly satisfying. But you have the devil on your shoulder telling you a burger is going to taste even better. So the cheat meal happens. Right, time to get out of these clammy clothes. I'm going to probably shower. And then I owe you guys an explanation as to what the hell is going on here. So what is the catch here? Surely I can't just consume a boatload of carbs and expect to wake up leaner the next day. Well, I can confirm, as you will see in this video, it actually worked really well. And no, there is no difference if you're natty or enhanced when it comes to pulling this off when you do it in the manner that I'm describing it as in this video. And this is how it's all possible. I have been dieting extremely hard and I've been in a very hefty calorie deficit for many months now. And during that process, my muscles have depleted themselves of the glycogen stores, which is your carbohydrate stores. So that has made my muscles deflate somewhat, and the bodybuilding term for that is I've simply gone flat. So by consuming 500 grams of carbs, I'm aiming to replenish all the glycogen stores in the muscle, therefore re-inflating them, as a bit of a weird term there, but if you think about it, the skin that's going to be wrapped around the muscle as we re-inflate is going to get tighter around the muscle. Therefore, the tighter the skin look, it's going to make me look leaner. But something we need to be aware of is carbohydrates attract water. So you do have the added benefits of also hydrating the muscle, again, inflating it more somewhat. But there may be a slight consequence to that by introducing more carbs, which is more water in the skin, which of course will offset the fact that you're trying to look leaner. So to prevent that from happening, I also restricted my water ever so slightly. I normally drink 5 liters of fluids a day. On this day, I only drank 3 liters of water. The goal is not to dehydrate myself. It is simply just prevent any excess fluids being under my skin. So this is my progress video the day before I did the carb load. And as you can see, one of the prerequisites to pulling this off is you need to already be very lean. And then the carb load will give you that extra little bit of crispiness and of course, fullness. So let's talk about my body weight. The day I took this video, I weighed in at 202.4 pounds. And the following day, as you may expect, I gained weight. I was 203.8 pounds. And I will show you the comparison of the difference between my two physiques after we get through the remainder of the day. So let's drop back into meal 2. My second meal is the chicken and rice dish. I've had all prep, the same vegetables, same seasoning, everything is exactly the same. However, I just have a mountain of rice to add to this now. So let's get that in. I think it is so important when you carb load to stick to the exact same foods, the same seasoning, everything the same. When you come to carb load, you simply just increase the carbs, because if you keep changing your carb sources, you don't know which carbs you can actually digest properly because you haven't had them for months, because you haven't had them during prep. So stick to the same carb sources you've had all prep and you'll know you're not gonna get stomach issues. I really don't think I'm gonna struggle with the portion sizes today. If anything, I'm gonna enjoy it and probably get really moreish afterwards. It'll probably hit like a sweet sugar craving fix afterwards. So I'll see what I can do for my final meal. Maybe I'll have a cream of rice meal for my last meal. And this is where I realized I made a very big error with my oats in the morning. my water. So I'm only allowed 3 liters. I did not think that my oats are actually 500 mils. Half a liter I lost to my oats, and yes, I have to count that as my water intake today. So I've already had 1 out of my 3 liters that I'm allowed for today. So I'm only getting 2 liters left, and I have 4 meals to get through and a pump up gym session. Burnt it a little bit trying to film. Took too long filming and got a little bit burnt, a little bit singed, but extra flavor. I am going to wait an hour for that to digest, and then I'm gonna head off to the gym, get a light back pump in. I chose this to be a back day today because my back is my flattest body part. So my thoughts to getting in a back day now during a carb load is to drive the blood into the back and therefore drive the carbs and the nutrition into the back as well, thus filling the back out a little bit more, prioritizing that getting nice and full. It is worth mentioning I did not measure the water used to cook the rice in the meal 2, simply because it doesn't have nearly as much liquid as I used when it came to making that insane bowl of oatmeal. My pre-workout drink, however, was simply an espresso. Gonna be trying to keep the content to a minimum in the gym today, so we are just gonna keep the t-shirt on. We're not gonna be doing pump checks and vascularity checks because it is gonna look sick, but that's not the purpose. I need to just get a pump on, get out. Well, I probably will do some stretching afterwards. We'll get into that. Let's get it done. Let's get a pump on. So I think we'll be aiming for a total of 16 sets, which will be 4 exercises, 4 sets each. Probably have 2 reps in reserve for everything, just to make sure, like I said, it's just supposed to be a pump. But 3 sets into this, and I'm already starting to feel the magic work. I thought I was being a little bit clever by taking only half a liter of fluids with me, because if I ended up taking that big jug, I would have just had the entire thing of this workout, and I would have had no fluids left for the rest of the day. So this is the hardest part for today. So you can tell by just the state of the forearms that things are happening. So my camera battery ran out, and here we are. I just finished up the back day with single arm lat pull downs was the only exercise you missed, and then I did do a set of biceps. Did some stretching like dead hangs and just stretched out my back and biceps afterwards. A little bit of chest stretching as well. The next 100 grams of carbs is calling. Now this is actually where I messed up. So I cooked all of my rice for the day in the morning. I knew I was gonna have 2 rice meals, and instead of making 200 grams of carbohydrates worth of rice, I cooked 200 grams of rice. So I actually fell significantly short for my carbohydrates in meal 3, so I just topped it up with some cream of rice. If you're still watching, I need you just to hit that like button down there. Just that little button down there, 2 seconds. We all good? Perfect, back to the video. So technically, it's back-to-back meals of chicken and rice, but my next meal, I'm really looking forward to something a little bit different, a little bit special. But this is my carb top-up. So the cream of rice, triple chocolate flavored, I didn't make the same mistake that you did with my oats and use a lot of water. I use 1/5 of the water that I normally use to make this, and it pretty much has turned into something which looks like a mashed up chocolate cake. It is so thick. So that's gonna be interesting. Obviously, I'm not gonna eat that first. I wanna have my savory, and then we'll smash the sweet. My second and final chicken and rice meal is now in. Let's tackle this. Intrigued to see how this goes. It's gonna be so dry. I can hardly get it off the spoon. I mean, there's extra flavor simply because it's so dense. It's not terrible, could be better. I like the fluffy version of this, but like I say, water restriction is water restriction. Well, I won't be doing that again today. You know, I thought I'd have something sweet, but I've had 2 sweet meals now. I think I'm good. So I know what meals I'm gonna have for the next 2 meals, and they should be real good. So meal 4 is gonna feel like a cheat meal because it's a spaghetti bolognese. However, do not judge me. This is a bodybuilding friendly, prep friendly spaghetti bolognese. I'm using gluten-free pasta, which is on my diet plan, something I've been eating the entire prep, with a 5-cent minced beef and just, again, vegetables, which I've been using the entire prep. Now this has a little bit more chopped tomatoes, tinned tomatoes, because again, I wanted a bolognese sauce. However, there's only 4 grams of carb in the bolognese sauce. So I did just use that as a part of my vegetable allowance that I have every day. Instead of leafy greens, I went tomatoes. Now I can go down the road of saying that there are health benefits to having different colored vegetables and not only green vegetables, but we won't get into that. I'm still having everything I would normally eat during a prep. It's just more of it this time. So I'm gonna sit down on the sofa, chill out in front of the TV, watch a show with the missus and just enjoy this. So I'm not gonna record it. I will catch you guys after I put this in my face. My last meal of the day, I opted for potatoes as the carbohydrate source and some eggs as the fat and protein sources. It looks like a pretty extravagant, crazy dish. I promise you it's not. I air fried the potatoes, poured them into a baking tin, and then beat some eggs with egg white top-ups with some cut up vegetables, poured it on top, and it came out looking like this. So my last 100 grams of carb is gonna be in the potatoes, and I am just gonna have it chilling on the sofa again. I would like to watch TV, but I'm talking to the camera instead. Let's give this a go. Yeah, it's pretty decent. You know, it is quite bland, but I'm okay with that right now because I have a secret ingredient, some sugar-free ketchup, just the tiniest bit. I am absolutely fine using condiments throughout my entire prep. Like I say, you don't want to add them in last minute if you haven't used them all prep. I don't want you guys to get bored at this stage. You've waited all this time to see the results for tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to eat this. Let's see what my weight is first, and then we'll get some results as well. So just as a reminder, I started the day at 202.4 pounds, but I finished the day on 208.6 pounds. But when I woke up the following morning, I was back to 203.8. And here are the comparisons. So on the before, my front shots are actually pretty similar. I have to admit, my obliques in the before seem sharper, but my ab depth was significantly deeper, and therefore it gives you again the effect of being leaner. However, from the back is where the crazy changes happen. So instantly you can see there's a lot more definition going on in the Christmas tree. All of the cuts look significantly deeper, again, giving you that much leaner, grainier look, which we look for in bodybuilding. But then again, just from the front, you have to look very closely because the differences are only slight. And saying that, just looking at the before from the front, doesn't look like I could have got that much leaner anyway, but as you can see, just with the depth of the abs and a little bit of the shoulder and bicep tie-in, there is a difference. And that is how I took down 500 grams of carbs and woke up the next day looking leaner. In a couple of weeks, I will take you guys through an entire peak week, Monday through Sunday, to show you how to get ready and peak for a bodybuilding show. So make sure you are subscribed if you don't want to miss out on that. And then don't forget to like this video and drop a comment for any questions. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.